As the political temperatures keep rising at the University of Kabianga, you'll surely need an informer. We saw some delegates resign. What do you have to say about that?
It seems the elections were not that transparent.
If there was any claim of rigging on my side at Junior, I think it was misplaced.
Kabianga Decides brings you exclusive interviews with different personalities.
You had it right from the president himself.
Stay tuned. Kabianga Decides.
Well guys, welcome yet to another exclusive event, and guess what? We have on the bench the 7th chairman of the Student Governing Council in the University of Kabianga. He is the outgoing president, and soon we'll have the 8th president of this esteemed campus. I know you have a lot to ask. I know you have a lot to hear. You are anticipating much, and man, I tell you, the president is here and the president is ready. Yes, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm very fine. It's an honor to have you here, and we are looking forward to a very nice session with you. Now, just to start us, how has been the experience serving at the top of the helm of leadership in this campus? How has it been?
It has been a wonderful journey for me, and I can say that it has given me the opportunities to be the negotiator, to be the problem solver. I've also had highs and lows in this journey, and I want to say that in general, it is just been nice serving as the president of Kabianga, and I'm thankful to God and the comrades.
And now, Mr. President, during your tenure, what have you done that students will live to remember you for?
During our campaign, we had so many promises, and in our manifesto that we had promised the comrades that after we assume office, we are going to work on. And let me touch on them. We had promised that we'll revolutionize or operationalize Kamukunji. We also told them that we are going to be on the forefront in fighting for the learning resources that were being given out late. We also had some issues with the bursary allocations. Some students were complaining that there was no fairness and equity. And we also had an issue about our peace in the institution, because some of the students felt that it wasn't working well. The leadership that was in place during that time was not representing them as they desired. So on my scorecard, I've tried my best. I know no one is perfect. No one can claim that he has achieved all, and but we have to be proud of what we have done as a government. And for the Kamukunji, I think we tried a lot, and I wish to inform the students that the Kamukunji worked. We had, but you know, our constitution doesn't allow Kamukunji. It terms it as an illegal gathering, and that illegal gathering made cause some chaos. So we had to do it in a very professional manner. And for example, recently we had an issue with the teams that were supposed to participate in the cultural week match, and someone felt that they were disqualified. How we solved the issue was through our Kamukunji, and we took some students and our leaders, and we had a session with them. And then we made some kind of resolutions, and we took it to the table with the negotiation committee, and it was resolved. What I want to say is that the Kamukunji worked also when we had an issue about the endowment fund policy. Endowment fund was meant to benefit the needy students, as well as to achieve the issue of research and support other programs in the institutions. So we came up with the endowment fund, and we did some performance, fundraising, We also had a major fundraising in the school by University Pavilion, and we achieved much. I think that day we collected around 6 million shillings, and that 6 million shillings will go a long way in achieving some of the programs. For example, we had the issue of the work study. It had stopped because of the issue of funds, but recently it was rolled out because of there was funds now to facilitate the same. I have talked about the bursaries, and in the bursaries we had some issues before that. There was no equity, and when you say equity and equality, there are two different things. Equality, you share the funds just the same way, regardless of the needy case. But in equity, we concentrated on equity because we have students who are so more needy than the others, and we had to look at that this student has a field balance of 30,000. How do we give him 2,000? Because 2,000 may not even, it's just a drop in the ocean. And we did that, we should give him a proportionate amount. And I think that is what we do. In our list that we are yet to release about the bursaries on the beneficiaries, it will be evident what I'm saying here about equity. We also had an issue about the micro teaching materials. Students used to get the micro teaching materials way after the semester started, and the micro teaching classes have already kicked off. We had even students spending on their own, buying the materials on their own. But this time around, we made sure that as the micro teaching starts, there were availability of the materials, and they can be a witness. The student can be a witness, those who are in fourth year now, because I was among them, and we received all the materials in time. We also had an issue with the general representation, that when the students are taken to the Senate, students are taken to the rural and have issues with the security. They were saying that there was an issue about how they are treated, because they may not have a voice. So we took up the challenge to be the voice as it is intended. And I want to say that we have done so much in the representation part, because even in the boardroom meetings and anywhere, we have made sure that we have our say, and the say that resonates well with the students. We also had an issue of the student IDs. Those who are in for the year now, since first year, they had not received a student ID. And in our office, and we promised that in 1 month in our office, we should have achieved that. And I'm happy that after we assumed the office, in the first week, we made letters, and we followed up to the letter. And in 2 weeks' time, we had the new student IDs. They can also be a witness of the IDs.
And now, Mr. President, thank you for that. But now, during the time, the last elections, that saw you become the president of this particular campus, there were claims of rigging elections and malpractices here and there. Now, their students might be asking themselves, are we sure that the electoral system within campus is transparent enough? I would like you just to give an assurance to the students and to the general electorate that the electoral system that will see us elect new leaders is as transparent as possible. Yes, Mr. President.
On the issue of transparency and credibility of the elections, I want to say that in our last election, there were so many complaints, and it doesn't take any rocket science to understand what was the situation. But I came in as a third year, and I was competing with someone who was in fourth year, who knows much more than me. And if there was any claim of rigging on my side at junior, I think it was misplaced, because I was just a candidate like anyone. I had no godfathers. I had I was even a newbie in the politics of Kabianga because if there was anything about the system, in first year I tried to vie for the delegate school of education, and unfortunately I was not due to some mistrust in something. I was locked out of the election, but I did not give up, and I had to do this the last election to the hard work, patience, and the humility that I had that saw me go through. On the issue of breaking, I think everybody has his own say. I think it is in a democratic environment. We give people a chance to express their point of views, and I may not dismiss what they are saying unless they are interviewed. You also call them here and get the story from him, because on my side, I just read success and all the cool things about democracy. Our democracy allows us. So to the students, as we go into this election period, I want to tell you one thing. This election is not about going to show how unfair or how there's some mischievous deals inside. I want to tell you that we having hope, have the faith that the student electoral body is working on well, and I don't know one can be dismissed when he already has done his part. Do your part to look for the votes, tell your supporters to turn out, then when anything happens, you are sure, so that we may avoid the excuse of that I had the ground. And I want to tell you that there are some issues with the voters generally. They are very cunning. We have cunning voters. They can tell you that you have everything today. Tomorrow, you find out that it was just a lie. And we may not trust. This is politics, and it's a game. And it's a game of cards. Sometimes you pick the wrong card, and maybe you think you are well off. So I want to tell them to do their assignment well on the ground, so that they may avoid the issue of being rigged up. Yeah.
You've had it right from the president himself. The electoral system is transparent and it's fair. What you have to do is to go out there. If you are vying for any position, if you're an aspirant, go outside there, mobilize voters, mobilize the electorate, and ensure that you do your best to claim that particular position. It has been an amazing session with the president on our very own show, The Perspective, but on our exclusive segment, Kabianga Decides. Ensure that you make the right decision on who shall take up the mantle of representing you as far as the board meetings are concerned and other areas. Thank you so much for that. We put a full stop to that, but be ready to tune in for other exclusive sessions under Kabianga Decides.
Kabianga Decides,